Oh, okay. Sorry about that, guys. My internet went out. Well, not my router or anything. I was actually on their end. So usually that happens. It'll take about 10, 15, 20 minutes, and I get back. So sorry about that. I had like 40 people paying attention to our discussion, and it was actually getting kind of interesting. So hopefully there will be people still out there that want to continue with this. So I'm going to put the new link out there and go from there. So yeah, sorry about that. Let me get the new link out there, guys, because yeah, I was not sniped. See a new link. Sorry, internet went out. We're coming back in. We'll get this going again. Did that and see if we get that one. I can't. That guy with a T. I can't invite him. The geocentrist. It doesn't show up. Michael Denton. Hi. I noticed you. What up? Yeah. Oh, you're restricted. Why are you restricted? Why I blocked you for some reason, Michael? Before, why did I block you, Michael? Because I just went to your G plus and it shows restricted. So for some reason, I have you blocked. There must be a reason for that. I don't block people arbitrarily. Anarchy says my laptop can just handle Hangouts. Well, come on in. But Michael, why did I block you? I don't know. Like I said, I don't remember the name. When it comes to G plus, I don't block very often, so there has to be a reason why I blocked you. And the people just coming back now, yes, sorry, my internet went out. I was not sniped. No, I didn't block you, Michael, from the live chat. I have literally have you restricted from my my G plus, and that's really odd because I'm not. I mean, you guys want to here? This is your G plus. Present to everybody. Oops, Michael, restricted. See, I don't know why. But anyways, I will unrestrict you for now. I sometimes give people second chances. Actually, no. You know what, dude? You have me blocked. I can't unrestrict you. That's you blocking me, actually. Anarchy. Yeah, your mic is Willie. So let me see who I have in here. Let me see. Let me get back. Shadow. 13 Shadows was in here. Yeah, it shouldn't go down again because once sometimes what happens is the internet's just kind of like resets itself every so often, so you get to do new DNS and all that. So that's what happened. But I'm trying to think who else was in here. Strike. Happens.
Weird.
Reds, yes. Okay, yeah, an hour from now, come on in for your lunch. Yeah, I don't think Reds watched the first part of this. What I was just basically telling people that I had watched this little hangout called Beyond the Curve. I'm sure Reds is familiar with it. And they were asking people for like evidence of a round Earth, and Heretic and Brenda and myself and a bunch of other people started giving them evidence, and they blocked everybody that was a round Earther. Oh, Hogtie's alive. Good. Glad to see Hogtie has not died yet. That's a good thing. Hogtie, I'll give you the link. Actually, like I said, I don't mind putting a link out there. I don't think it would get sniped. But yeah, no, Michael, yes, in your end, you might just have like your settings because I don't remember your name, and I so infrequently block people on G plus that when I see somebody that's restricted, I note it because I'm not. It's not like the Clown Car Posse that block everybody. Merry Christmas, Ozzy. By the way, he says Merry Christmas, Hogtie. Yeah, Ozzy, say hi. Say Merry Christmas to Hogtie, but ignore everybody else. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Happy Hanukkah too. Yeah, Michael says no. I've never actually interacted with you personally before. I just watch a lot of your streams. Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I don't remember. I know I didn't restrict you because but it came up restrictions. So I was going to add you on G plus. Yeah, I had a great Christmas. A lot of people had actually been in my feed yesterday. I wasn't going to have a hangout yesterday, and I had one, and there was like 50 to 60 people watching all 8 hours. I don't think it ever left below like 40 the entire hangout on Christmas Day, right? I mean, that was pretty awesome. But for those of us joining now, because it wasn't the last hangout, which we had about 40 people about 15, 20 minutes ago. There was a geocentrist in the live feed, started name with a Tiamat or something, and I tried to invite him in. So let's see if we get back him. But I was just hanging on to the dishonesty and duplicity of flat earthers, that literally they're sitting there saying, why isn't anybody presenting evidence for round Earth? And everybody that got blocked. I thought, I was like, are you serious? I mean, I should have screenshot this stuff. I should have screen capped it, right? Because, I mean, you can't see heretic. Well, I guess you can't see him being blocked. It says like, message deleted. But I should have videotaped that. I wish I could get Bandicam or something. No problem, Michael. Yeah, go figure it out and I'll add you. Let's see here. Let me try something real quick. But how blatant you got to be like, hey, you know what? Show me evidence of this. And then, oh, he's got evidence of this. Must block this person. Oh, God. It's just so comical. Sidestrike, I'm going to put your link out there again, too, by the way. I'm promoting your channel pretty heavily, just FYI. So when you get, like, really famous and shit like that, return the favor. I only need, what do I need? 17 more subs, I think it is. 17 more subs to break 1,000. I'd like to get that by the end of the year. That was one of my goals. I had a goal. My goals were 175,000 views, 1,000 subs, and 200 Patreon. And I've already beat the 175,000 views. I'm almost at 1K, and I'm almost at 200. So I'm meeting up most of my goals. I actually set goals for myself. I never do that, but yeah, 1,000 goals by the end of the year was my goal, and I'm at what am I at now? 894. So 16 more. So not too bad. But Sidestrike's channel, I'm going to put his channel out there. Go sub to him. He does a lot of good debunkings on Friday. We have fun doing that. Ozzy, I know you won't come in, but I'm going to give you the link anyways, just in case you decide to, pop on by, say hi, just so you can wish everybody Merry Christmas. Let me get you guys showing the broadcast. And who else did I have, Sidestrike, in here just a few minutes ago?
Okay.
Brenda was here.
Oh, Brenda popped in. Okay, let me get Brenda. Yeah, because she got banned. She got, it's like, okay, here's the evidence. Okay, she's gone.
Oh, what's his name? George Hanekchuik. I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
George Hanekchuik? Yeah, I know George.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, he was here.
I know Jackie was here. Nevin, I'll invite her anyways. But well, like I said, the link's out there, and they know I'm broadcasting, so they want to come in. So Brenda, you were like, I think the first to get bumped from that feed, weren't you? Brenda? Is she there?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I invited Von Held to the last one. He didn't show. Rose, I had my fill of the other day. I can only take so much Rose at one time, right? I mean, she's just a little over the top.
He's trolling.
Oh, I think so too. I do. Ooh, who's got the windstorm? You guys hear that?
I did. Seems to be gone now.
Let's see here.
Is it mine?
I don't know. Mute, and I'll tell you.
All right, give me a sec.
Yep, totally yours. It's all you, baby.
Yeah, it's not a windstorm. I think it's just a grass trimmer outside. Okay.
Yeah, when I was clear. Yeah, Rose's idea of argumentation is who can yell the loudest. Right? I mean, she just really likes to overtalk people and then question everything. How do you know? How do you know? I don't care for those kind of conversations, right?
It's been more than a month since I've done a hangout. I cannot find my headphones. If the room doesn't fill up, I'm going to wander, and then I think they're out in my truck.
Yeah, welcome back. We know you'd be gone for a lot of the season, so people weren't like, oh, where's Hogtie? We only brought you back only for this thing about statistics, which I'll talk to you in a second.
Well,
because
it hasn't stopped a couple of them from saying, "Oh, I see Hogtie's scared of coming in for a debate."
yeah, of course, yeah.
Is this the
well-
Ronnie Statistics 6 million thing?
I'll be back.
Okay,
Hang on.
yeah, Abate. We were talking about that last time. Again, I don't want to weigh in on that because, I mean, I thought you could have too many of a good thing, right? When you do a representative sample, I thought you could have too much of your sample size because it starts changing your p-value because you start having significant data turn to insignificant data when you have that big of a sample. Now, I don't remember this well enough, but this is what I read up on. But other people are saying no. Matter of fact, Ned had actually talked to a PhD in mathematics saying no, you can never have too much of a bit large sample. What I read on the internet says otherwise, but I'm going to go with Ned because I again, Ned knows a lot more about this than I do. But the people that know stats very well, they can chime in it more. But I don't trust Ronnie, right? I mean, Ronnie doesn't even understand with a 6 million population why you only need a little over 1,000. Like I think it's 1024. At a 99% confidence level and a 4% confidence interval, which is your margin of error, why that's a representative sample. He doesn't understand how that works, right? Because he was saying in his video, well, that doesn't mean it's not. It doesn't mean it's 100%. Well, yeah, of course it doesn't mean it's 100%. That's why you have a confidence level, right? I mean,
the reason why we use this, what was the parameters that he gave, and what was the kind of different things that we were using?
Well, the one last night he said didn't he say like 8 to 9 million sample population?
9 million.
I think he said 8 to 9 million.
Okay, and we typically use like what, a 95% confidence interval with a 4% error margin.
Hang on, one sec. I'm gonna figure this out. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, so don't tell me. Wait. Okay, so 95 confidence level with a 4% confidence interval with a population size of 9 million. 601 samples or more.
Yes, it's around. Well, I got 600, but it's around the same.
Okay.
That's only if you are assuming that your sample p-value is 0.5, which will make the sampling number. The number of samples that you need at its maximum. But the original results that we had was 97% of scientists say X. So your p-value shouldn't be 50%. It shouldn't be 0.5. It should be 0.97. So when you actually plug that 0.97 p-value, it's a sample p-value, into the equation, it doesn't become 600. It becomes 70. You only need to sample 70 people. Right,
but don't they use a 0.5 because generally speaking, 0.5 on the, I hate to say the word average, gives you pretty good idea, right? I mean that if you're not certain of what p-value to use, don't they generally use? But don't they usually use 0.5 if they don't really have anything to draw upon?
The reason why that's correct. The reason why they're using 0.5 is because when you have a p-value of 0.5, that is the maximum point of n. That is essentially the maximum point of n. Any other p would actually reduce n.
So it's going to give you the worst case scenario.
It's the most conservative estimate.
Most conservative. There you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is, n should actually really be what your sample mean is, and your sample mean at the moment is 97%. And once you plug that in, you only need to sample 70 people.
See, according to this, like with a 99% confidence interval, you only need 10,040 samples for a population size of 90 million.
99% confidence interval?
Yeah.
Or error margin?
Level. No, your error margin 4%. Yeah.
So your error margin is 4%. You want a 99% Z score.
Mm-hmm.
And you want a 0.5 P score. It's about 1,037, 36, 37.
Yeah, it's in that ballpark, right? I mean, but I guess he thinks for like a population size of 9 million, you need like 9 million.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is,
I figured out how that works.
Yeah, well, you're talking about.
I'm not basing my calculations on a calculator I found somewhere, a black box calculator I found somewhere. This is my Excel spreadsheet. I created this myself. So I don't see how Ronnie could probably say, I just searched on the internet how this is done. I did this myself.
Well, it was funny because
I can screen share this as if you like too.
Yeah, in a second. Ned was saying that, of course, these mathematical formulas can be a little bit much, right? And he was like, you know what? I'm not an expert on this. I don't want to pretend to be. But you know what? You can go to a sample size calculator on the internet and do it. which basically I did, right? And Ronnie's like, oh, see, he doesn't know what he's doing. He has to go to this web page. It's like, well, so what? We understand how the web page works. We know what an error margin is, which is your confidence interval. We know what a Z score is. By the way, I hate calling it Z. It's Z score, but whatever. Yeah, but
You Americans.
I know, but we've at least had stats. But I'm not familiar with it enough to talk about it in any great detail. You are, but okay. So yours is coming up with a 1036, right? With a 0.5
Yes.
p-value. Okay, and
Yes, the
this one
population
comes
is
up
so
with
big it doesn't make a difference.
this one comes up at 1040. Now, again, there's going to be a little leeway here, but I'm going to try a different sample size calculator. Let's see here. While we're doing this, let me go find some flat earthers because I'm in a flat earth mood. So I need more coffee. I'm going to make some coffee in a second. So let's try this one. Population side 9,000. Or it should be 9 million with a 95% confidence level with a 4% margin of error. 601, and then with a 99 confidence, 1040. So it's in that ballpark.
You got 99 or 95?
With a 99 confidence level, it's 1040.
99. Okay.
Yeah. But then that's using a normal distribution.
I do adore too how I did find headphones, by the way. I do adore how at one point during the discussion when it came up about 600.
601. Yeah.
Yeah, when it said, well, 600 would be an adequate sample, and true empiricism is like, well, that seems a little low to me. Like,
yeah.
You're good.
It is expertise. That's a little low, right?
Yeah. Well, you're talking about a guy who thinks he won the pie debate.
Oh God. Yeah. He thought he won the debate with Ned too. Did you listen to him?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
yes, he does. He does think he thinks he won that too. Yes.
If anybody doesn't, go ahead. Go ahead, Hunter.
He says he made the claim that no one has ever corrected me on any issue ever.
Oh God,
ever.
Yeah, you know what? I literally think Ronnie has gone full extreme retard, right? And by the way, I watched that movie last night, Tropic Thunder, and I thought of Ronnie when who was it? Iron Man. What's his name? Martin Downey Jr. He's like, never go full retard. I was thinking, yeah, that's Ronnie, but I think he doesn't even try anymore because he even used like the scientific descent from Darwinism in his video the other day. That's how bottom of the barrel he's gotten.
So we should be taking bets on when he becomes a flat earther.
It's just a matter of time. I mean, I think he's heading that way. Might as well, right? Go full retard. But yeah, if anybody doesn't remember the Ned debate, they had a debate on basically how intelligent design would affect atheism. And Ned's argument was pretty simple. It wouldn't. And Ronnie's argument was that it would.
Do you know what Ronnie's reason for thinking that he beat Ned?
What?
It's that he was off topic.
Okay, I must have missed that part because Ned was right on topic.
Well,
I explained to Ronnie that intelligent design, unless you posit God, it's not going to affect atheism, right? If you say if intelligent design shows God, then it will affect atheists. I would believe that most atheists would go, okay, yes, we have evidence of God, therefore I believe God exists. But other than that, intelligent design itself does not affect atheism because atheism is a belief in God or lack of belief in God. Go ahead. Sorry.
Ronnie was also going on about a negation of P the other night. He's gone back to that.
That's really Ned. I call him Ned. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant. I thought I heard Red.
No, Ned.
Oh,
Ned is
okay.
negation of P.
Yeah, he's really upset. He's really upset with negation of P's tactic of simply allowing Ronnie to, granting him the thesis, and true empiricism. He's really pissed off about that. He does not like it.
Well, negation of P did the most brilliant thing ever. He just basically said, okay, you know what? I will grant you every one of your points except one, which is make the leap that the intelligence line is going to affect atheism. Give me that connecting linchpin that draws your argument together. And Ronnie started from the very basics again in his argumentation. And Ned's like, you know what? I've already granted you all this. Just give me the one piece that makes atheism affected by this. And he couldn't do it. He didn't understand that.
Yeah, he thinks that's debating off topic, and since it was off topic, he wins by default.
He only got his ass handed
kidding.
so
Yeah, I'm
bad.
not kidding.
Everybody, I was in that hangout. I was in that hangout, and I remember it quite well. And everybody tried to explain it on. He didn't even have the proper definition of atheism. He's like, well, that's the one I use. And everybody's like, well, nobody else uses that. I mean, what was his definition? It was really weird. But it would include like
a personal creator who's personally a personal creator, basically, right? Basically, the God of Christianity.
Is that no? I don't think that's what he posited. I think it was a little more general than that, wasn't it?
Well, more general than the God of Christianity, but definitely a personal creator. I think, right?
See, I thought he posited naturalistic gods. Maybe I don't. Maybe I will have to check it out again.
I seem to recall in my mind
right.
that it was a personal. There was some other adjectives in there. I can't remember. I'm not sure if he
an interactive deity.
Yeah, a personal, interactive creator God.
You know what? That might have to be worth watching again one of these days.
And then people brought up Buddhism, and that was kind of a.
Oh, he doesn't accept Buddhism as an atheistic religion, does he?
No.
Yeah.
I
don't think he does.
Fuck if I can figure
but
it out.
He thinks
do that much work.
Yeah, it takes too much to analyze. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. Atheism and theism are not religions, people. There's no possible way you can make the argument they are religions. They are umbrella terms, right? They're a theistic evolution. Theistic religions out there. Christianity is a theistic religion, but there's also atheistic religions, Buddhism, Satanism. So I was hoping that geocentrist would come back. I'm a little bit bummed that my internet went out. Damn, because I don't seem to be able to add him. Oh, but I got.
Is that Timaeus?
Timaeus, yeah. Do you know him?
No, I don't know him, but he was on the live the outside chat previously and said he didn't have a microphone, so he wasn't coming in.
Oh, bummer. Okay. Shoot.
Well, not having a microphone would be something of an obstacle.
Yeah.
I have to say, and I don't. I just heard your opening here, Steve, where you talked about that they were asking for evidence. You present evidence, you get blocked, and I hadn't seen that part of it. I just been listening since you started this hangout, and I really had to laugh because we had our Christmas sort of small family gathering here yesterday, and included my dad and my brother, and of course his daughters, my brother's daughters, my nieces, and we started talking about the flat earth thing, which was weird because this last summer I was with my dad and he was telling me that he bumped into somebody in our province. This person's a flat earther, and he starts asking my dad these questions about this evidence for flat earth, and Dad was just totally taken aback. He's like, "Have you ever heard of such a thing?" And I was like, "Yes, I totally have heard of such a thing. I talk with these people on the internet all the time." And it was made for kind of an energized discussion. This is going back to last summer, when I was saying, like, it's actually increasing in popularity and stuff. And I said that it's interesting because what measurements could you make that would convince you? Like, don't rely, oh, NASA shows you photos. They'll poo-poo that stuff right away. And so we had that discussion. And then we were talking about it again at Christmas. And I was explaining something to my niece, and she goes, "Oh, I know. I've seen these flat earth videos on the internet." And again, it was that, "Oh, no kidding. That's so awesome, isn't it?" And just, I had to stop watching them because I was almost getting convinced. And I'm thinking she was kidding. But it raised the issue about what measurements could you make, what observations can you as a layman make yourself, so you're not relying on NASA photos. And I was making this point about how, as I've said in Hangouts before, you can measure the moon and show that it's always the same size no matter what time of day it is. Two people can make simultaneous observations of the moon. Even though they're in different places, they'll see it to be the same size. Things like that. And I said, but she goes, "Well, how do the flat earthers respond to that?" I say, "Well, as soon as they demand evidence like that and you show them evidence like that, then they'll say, but how do you explain double rainbows?" You can't, you're blocked, right? Yeah. They just jump to some completely random topic and then block you.
And that's exactly it. Well, there's hang on one second. Your mic is really out there.
Really laggy.
Yeah, I've only just got the thing working.
Try again. Go ahead.
Not working at all.
I watched this video the other day. Yeah, your mic is breaking up bad. I think it was Psystrike's hangout. But wasn't Psystrike, wasn't the video we were watching where the guy was having this little plastic rainbow with two little sticks and showing like colored balls and showing how like he thinks that this rainbow is actually a discoloration off the plastic of the dome or the firmament.
Sure. I've heard that, but that I don't think we did that one on Movie Night.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. It was Earth Discussions. And I'm like, I'd never seen this before, right? I was taken aback. I was like, wait, is this legit, or is this like seriously what he's trying to convince people of? And I'm like, well, how does he explain double rainbows? And they're like, he doesn't. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well,
This is like the new denomination of flat Earth now.
have any of them actually brought up double rainbow? I said that it was just when I was talking to my niece, and I was just sort of it was trying to reach for something that, well, we're talking about the moon right now. We're talking about the path that the moon takes, either in orbit around Earth or circling overhead like a police helicopter. And when discussing that, then they'll jump to something completely unrelated. And in my haste to think of something completely unrelated, I just blurted out, "What about double rainbows?" I've never actually heard a flat earther, and in part here I'm trying to answer Anarchy's question. I think you were asking why what is double rainbows got to do with it? I've never actually heard them say that. I just came up with that as an example of just like how far afield can they go to run away from a topic that
I saw something that I thought was quite amazing. I was driving very late at night. I was driving home from Colorado, and it was a full moon. It was out in the country where there was, I think it was like Nebraska, so there was a wide landscape available. And I saw a double rainbow lit by the moon. It was entirely black and white, no color. And it was a full double rainbow, or a moonbow, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, moonbow.
It was.
You can sometimes get double, yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good version of it, or whatever. It was years and years and years ago, back in I think 84 or something. But that was an amazing sight. I really
saw one last year in Dallas.
The moonbow or double?
No. I saw double rainbow. Really, really, really clear double rainbow.
Actually, if I can slip in, which I'll sort of actually slip in a bit of explanation for my absence. I'd actually been sick for about 2 weeks, and then I was in a thing at the hospital, outpatient kind of treatment thing, and on partway through the treatment, I got a phone call of a pretty good situation, a bad situation that was happening in I'll say northwestern Alberta. But it was a good opportunity for me to go up and solve this problem and make a few bucks. So I said, okay, fine. But that meant I had to drive. So I'm in, I'll say, Dawson Creek, which, by the way, for people who want to keep calling it Dawson's Creek, that's the name of a TV show. The actual community is Dawson Creek. And so I got about a 7-hour drive. And there's just these are not like city overpasses. This is like the backwoods of Alberta, just dark, dark, dark. In that area, in the last couple of weeks of December, you get 6.5, maybe 7 hours of daylight through the day. And of course, I'm doing the whole drive in the dark. And on the way down there, I saw 8 separate shooting stars, falling stars, or whatever you want to call them. And 3 of them were like the super, like, blow apart, brilliant, sparkly ones.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
I've seen those are and did it have like a little? Could you sometimes they'll get like blue white and they'll leave a little white puff of smoke behind them?
Yeah, the dust that blows off and stuff. Yeah,
I've seen those. Those are awesome.
Pretty amazing ones. A couple of them you just sort of see out of the corner of your eye and you turn and see a streak, but others it would kind of light up a little bit and you had time to turn your head and watch, and it was just, like, boom, 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 just like pieces of it blowing off everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's too bad. I mean, it kind of reminded me of. We don't have enough dark places in the world. I mean, dark like absence of light, not dark evil. There are plenty of dark places in the world. We don't have enough places that you can just be out in the field somewhere in a highway somewhere and just have like nothing for light except what you bring with you, and then something happens in the sky. Like it's nice. I wish more people had a chance to see things. Like, for example, the Northern Lights phenomenon, which there are getting to be fewer and fewer people who've actually seen colored Northern Lights, because you have to be in a very dark area to see the banding of colors.
Well, I hope you're feeling better. The darkest spot I've ever seen was actually on the way to Las Vegas. There's a back route that the locals take that goes up through Yucca Valley through Amboy. And there's a little railroad track near Morningstar Road. And that place, you're pretty much 80 miles from any known civilization at that point. So you've got mountains all around you. You know, you've got an Amboy crater. You've got it's pitch black. I mean, there's just no light whatsoever. You can't even see your hand in front of your face, kind of thing. And that's where you look up and go, holy shit! There's a lot more stars than people realize, right? It looks like Sidestrike's picture.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't realize just how many stars are visible. For good or bad, I was outside typically between 11 and 13 hours a day. And I say only about 6.5 to 7 of that is daylight. And for the first couple of days, it warmed from minus 33 to minus 27. If anyone's going to ask me if that's Celsius or Fahrenheit, I'm going to point out it's minus 33. Who cares? That's cold. But it was beautiful. I mean, when you asked about if I'm feeling better, I'm feeling better in part just from getting out and just like being outside in the most miserable conditions and just enjoying it.
Oh, it's got to be cold as shit up there, huh?
It's something.
Yeah, you know what? And I said everybody before. Yeah, I said everybody, it's going to be a cold winter. Be prepared.
When it's negative 33, shouldn't it be pretty close whether it's Fahrenheit or Celsius? I know it's when it's minus 40. Minus 40 is exactly the same.
Yeah, minus 40 is the crossover, but minus 33 is in that pretty range close. Of where, yeah, it's just like you're going to want to zip up your coat. Like you don't want to have a debate over what measurement system we're using. It's just, put on a hat, zip up your coat, because find some gloves. Don't touch anything made of steel.
Oh my God, you'd be frozen. Your skin would peel off, right?
Don't lick anything.
So who's Goat Thrusters? Vincent says it's a troll, but come on, I don't want troll. I want actual flat earthers to come in, not trolls. You know, Vincent knows all the actual flat earthers in the community, so I trust him to tell which ones are legit. But I want an honest flat earther that actually won't gish gallop, that won't, as you said, Hogtie, you give them evidence and they're like, yeah, but what about this? It's like, no. Stick what we're talking about.
You can find Pete Shea, the guy that drinks his own piss.
I think I listened to him the other day. Is that Pissy Pete, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whose piss do you want him to drink? I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's drinking somebody else's pee, right? I mean, don't judge.
Didn't Red say that this guy actually feeds his piss to his grandkids?
He said that.
It's pretty hot.
Was pretty dumbfucked by that.
Don't use that word. Don't use that word.
How about dumbstruck? Yeah,
that's better.
Dumbstruck.
And I hope it's not true.
With those fellas.
Yeah, just disturbing. That's child abuse.
Is this again? I've been absent from not just even leading up to this last month where I've been away from Plus. I've sort of been tapering off considerably since the summer. Is this getting to be a thing? Are people like urine drinking? Is this like
no?
People discussing the merits or
no? There's just a very disturbed individual.
Do you know the dumb fucks of the year or the candidates, the 10? Hogtie, have you been paying attention to the dumb fuck of the year?
There are two sort of famous ones or ones I'm familiar with that I know, but I actually haven't even gone to check and see who the candidates are.
Sorry, go ahead, Brenda.
Darwin's Deity is making a strong push, but he's way behind. But he's trolling 13-year-olds now.
Are those kids 13?
The other one was 8.
Yeah, the older one was 13. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, I've got a window open here. I'll start watching a video, and then on Darwin's Greatest Hits is DD smarter than a 5th grader, and I'm not quite halfway through it, and I can't figure out what the hell is going on. Like, does he not know that they're kids?
They're like watching Minecraft or something.
Where did he find him? Like, where's his hangout? Sorry, Sudo, go ahead. Yeah.
That hangout was started by the kids. DD went into it.
Oh,
yes.
Fuck.
He got the link somewhere.
He not only went into it, he sniped them.
Yeah.
They're playing. It's the kids' first hangout. They're playing Minecraft. He goes in, starts talking about philosophy. They tell him to eat raw spaghetti, and then shit hits the fan because his dog didn't have to go for a walk.
And he sniped 2 of them. I'm like, Darwin, this is what you reduced yourself to.
I appreciate that description, Sudo. I did get to the part where the one kid's like, "Go eat raw spaghetti." Go. You just know, like
that's why got to be added 13. To a soundboard.
Bush did 9/11.
So does that put that video in context for you, Hog?
Yeah, but by 13, you have better insults than "go eat raw spaghetti."
No, I think that's awesome.
That was his little.
That was the 8-year-old, by the way. That was an excellent one. Hey,
I imagine that was his friend or his little brother, his little brother or somebody like that.
What you're saying? The smart one was 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that other one was really just screaming random things over the phone.
He was like,
Look, their parents were probably in the other room, and telling Didi to go like shit out of his dick would be like,
oh, I would
get the
be
man
like
off the internet
phoning.
for a week.
Yeah, I'd be phoning the fucking police or at least contacting Google if there was some old man trying to fucking talk to my kids like that.
He was telling them they could learn a lot from him.
How the fuck did he even get the link?
Didn't he say let's go private?
No, I don't know. Yes, he did.
he did.
Yes, he did.
No, nothing's wrong with Minecraft. Somebody's like, what's wrong with Minecraft? Like, no, I play Minecraft, but I mean, I'm not going to go into like, I play it offline. I'm not sitting there playing it with a bunch of kids. I mean, it's not my thing.
What was Didi
There
playing
are
Minecraft
ways.
at the same time?
No, he wasn't. There are ways
So
to
he
find
just jumped in.
links to hangouts all the time.
Let's go private. I'll give you a private education.
Jesus
fuck.
Christ.
Oh,
Confirm Stevie raw spaghetti.
I like raw spaghetti.
It was eat raw spaghetti, bitch.
Yeah,
That's
eat raw spaghetti and die, bitch.
And when you get owned by 13-year-olds, you know you're done with the community.
Well, Didi's going to bring his dog along into that discussion as well. Yeah.
So what else did Hogtie miss?
Well, it's easier to say what I've seen. Like, I did get messages about the statistics thing, and I didn't even know. Like, I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to say something about this. I'll at least type a reply to the things I was tagged in, and I don't even know what to say. Like, as bad. Okay, Ronnie's description of solipsism in his somewhat famous discussion with Alex Botten is actually more lucid and articulate than his description about how sample size works and how to make like the basics of statistical inference.
Have you seen the?
I don't even know how to critique it. It's so awful.
Was he all over the place, or was he all over the place?
Just gibberish, just word salad. Okay, and a lot of times you can say, like, okay, if you're talking about statistical inference and you want to say things like, well, it's good to have statistical power and you want to avoid bias. Okay, well, those are true statements, but anybody could say those things. You're not sure if they just picked up those words and they actually don't know what power means in statistics or what bias means in statistics, or in the inference at least. So you're unsure, but at least they're saying correct things. But the stuff he was saying was just that gibberish word salad thing he often says. But he's also getting stuff wrong. Like, I just cannot understand his justification about how, well, you got to get the right sample size. It can't be too small, it can't be too big. And he really was educating us, in quotation marks, on the notion that it's possible to have a sample size that is too big, and that messes things up somehow.
Well, like I said, I was reading about instances where sample size, too large of sample size would come into play, but I think it really depends on a variety of factors. Tyler was saying in the live feed there's some instances where that might be coming into play or something like that. But for the most part, I mean, if you get the minimum sample size, anything over that is just it should give you you have the same confidence level, right? If you're at a 99, I mean, you already get a 99 regardless of how many you have at that point, right? Is that how it's going to work?
No, the sample size, an increase in sample size would actually decrease your error margin. That's really the only thing. Your confidence interval. Not your confidence interval. Your error margin.
That is the same thing, isn't it? Your margin of error is your confidence interval.
No. Your confidence interval is the one that you consider the Z score.
That's your confidence level. I get things too confused.
You're getting confused. The confidence interval is the one that is the Z score. You're probably thinking about what's called the confidence margin, which is
confidence margin. Okay, that's your margin of error.
So that's a different.
4% would be your confidence margin.
Yeah, but the thing I found really strange about that statistic.
Also, the confidence interval. Okay.
Yeah, he was saying that you should actually have 100% confidence, which never happens in a survey unless you can survey the entire population.
Well, and also he also pointed out, he's like, that doesn't mean it's 100%. It's like, well, nobody's claiming it's 100%. That's why you have the confidence level of 95 or 99%, right?
Yeah, and that's why you have an error margin. That's why
the error margin
all
of 4
surveys,
5%, whatever you use.
Yeah, all surveys have always been reported. If you go to news polls or anything, they always put forward something like 2 to 3% margin of error, and that's where it comes from. But he just doesn't get it. He wants absolute certainty.
Data by outliers. That's what I was thinking of.
Well, there's one very large issue to be kind of mindful of. As I hear the discussion and his explanation of it kind of jump around a bit. There's two very different things that you can do in statistical inference. One of them is to give your best estimate of some sort of a parameter. So if you're trying to find out the average height of males, adult males in the United States, so there's your population, adult males in the United States, and you're trying to report on our best understanding of the mean of that of height, right? So that's, you know, and you can do that for any parameter. You know, you can report on the correlation between this variable and that variable, or you can even do some combined parameters like what is the average difference in weight due to being in some program, you know, before and after. So these are like all, you know, parametric inferences. There's some parameter that we can't come to know because we're not measuring every subject in the every member of the population. Instead, we're measuring a sample. So when we make an inference about what this parameter would be, we're always going to say, well, it's plus or minus something. And we say it's plus or minus something. We always say, well, you hear these things like, it's plus or minus 3% 19 times out of 20. Well, that means that 95% of the time when we use that methodology, the number we come up with that we say is within plus or minus 3% will be within the 3%. But one time in 20, we won't be within the 3%.
And that might be something outside that 3% margin.
Yeah, but trivially so. It would be a very, very, very small amount. But a totally separate exercise is hypothesis testing, where you're saying, well, we've got some hypothesis that some drug, you know, causes weight loss. And we want to test. So we're gonna have a placebo control group and then the drug group, and we don't want a confidence interval. We don't want to come up with a parametric estimation. Instead, we want to come up with a definitive yes or a no that we're going to come up with this innocuous null hypothesis that the drug has no effect on weight, and we're going to weigh this against an alternative hypothesis where it has some effect in terms of weight reduction. And at some point, we're going to green light or red light, yes or no, yes, this drug has an effect, or no, it doesn't. Well, then you start to get into issues about type 1 error, type 2 error, you know,
that's when you fail to reject the null hypothesis.
Yeah, false rejection of a true null
hypothesis. False positive, false negative, right, okay.
False positive, false negative, right. Well, those are because now you're going down the alley of where you want to make a decision and say yes or no. Yes, we should reject that null hypothesis. Or no, we don't have enough evidence to reject it, so we're going to retain the null hypothesis as if it were plausible. These are slightly different questions than making an inference, like trying to measure something. If you wanted to know the average height of men in the United States, you're not asking a yes/no question. You're trying to come up with an estimate of a parameter, and you're willing to accept sort of where we're going to get pretty close to it with some methodology. And those are two very different questions. There's a lot of related issues, but they're two very different questions. And as I hear a lot of the discussion about this thing, I hear those sort of two issues being mixed. Like, you can't really talk, if you're talking about parameter estimation, you can't talk about statistical power, because power has to do with the principle of comparing hypotheses, right? Whereas confident, when you talk about the standard error of estimate or confidence intervals, those things are all related to parameter estimation, which again is different from hypothesis testing. So it's I don't know, but
well, I mean, I didn't really want to comment on that thread because, again, I don't remember much about statistics. I mean, yes, I do remember the type 1 and type 2. You know, one was a false positive, the other one's a false negative. And I remember a little bit about some of the formulas that you use to find, like, the Z-score. You have, I remember you have like you have half of it on the left tail, half of it on the right tail. You divide it by 2. You know, but I don't know it. I don't use it, right? I have no reason to use statistics anymore. But I wanted, like somebody yourself, to try to parse out what True was saying, because to me, I couldn't even know. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I just, nothing he said was even like lucid to me.
Exactly. I mean, I sort of gave that little bit of background there. I definitely want to draw a wedge between hypothesis testing and parameter estimation, because a lot of the jargon we're using falls on one side of the line or the other. While there are related issues, they're two very, very different tasks. But then going back to the point about, well, what the hell was Ronnie talking about? There's some things that he says that you can, like when he talks about solubility of DNA and whether or not it breaks down, and with him being totally vague about, well, what breaks down, breaks apart, well, which bond is breaking? Well, that at least gives us a launch pad to discuss, okay, well, what are the bonds of DNA? Like, which bond breaks down in water? Well, what are the bonds? We get a chance to sort of whiteboard what a DNA biopolymer looks like, and to discuss the nature of the bonds, whether they're hydrogen bonds or covalent bonds, and have these sorts of discussions. But with all the stuff he was saying about statistics and about, well, sample size and your power and too much sample size and just this gibberish he threw together, I just don't even see a launch point to where a person could try to inform or educate people about the issues that he thinks he's talking about. It was just that level of gibberish.
There was absolutely nothing rigorous in his discussion about sample size. I've just posted in the side chat here, like, what's the formula that you actually use to compute what's the minimum n that you need in order to arrive at this sufficient sample size. It's the one that we typically use out in statistics, but everything in that particular hangout, none of it was mathematical, none of it was rigorous. He was just basically saying, we can't have too much, we can't have too little. How the hell much do we need? There's nothing to determine that. And I posted a question. Yeah, there's a Goldilocks zone that isn't specified. So much for specified information. But
sequential.
Specified sequential information. None of it exists really. But on his particular, on that negation of P's nonsense video that he posted, I put forward a comment asking him whether or not he can actually put forward a methodology, an actual mathematical methodology in that. Someone replied to me. His name was, what was his name? Scott something. He said, Ronnie can't do that. And Ronnie deleted him.
Oh, really? I saw your comment up there and I saw the reply, but it's gone now, huh?
Yeah, he deletes almost all comments.
Yeah, if you look at his videos, I mean, the only comments that left on there are anybody that's positive to him, right? I mean, he just completely deletes anything that's negative.
Yeah. Although I did notice too, just about the deleting thing, he does say in this last video, again, I've only seen about the first half hour of it, but something about them deleting comments. Actually, first off, he makes the definitive allegation that Steve McRae is in the comment section with multiple sock accounts, posting things and then deleting them. He was quite sure that happened. It was Steve. It was multiple sock accounts. Steve was posting stuff. Steve was deleting them. Well, I don't know how
Simon McDuck was there the other day, and I was listening to him, and he's like, "Hey, that's just Steve, under a sock." And I'm like, "I'm not McDuck. I don't know what you're talking about."
But no, he's sure. But for some reason, that like Steve's got this scheme in his head that he's going to post these comments and delete it. Well, of course, it said when
I do go in there in socks occasionally, but I don't have anything that I delete, and he knows all my socks. I mean, my dad's name, doxastic. Dialectics. I mean,
the funny thing is there are 6 comments that are visible on his video, but the comment count is 20.
It's 20 now, yeah. Well, it's funny because he just assumes Steve does all these bizarre things, and the other thing too is I knew I wasn't even watching. I was listening on the headphones, but he used the words that they're deleting their comments. It says message deleted or whatever. Well, that's what it says. If the message is removed by somebody, it gives a different message. If you remove it yourself, it says retracted, not deleted.
Does it?
So it isn't somebody posting comments and then deleting them themselves.
Really?
For some reason.
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
Let me move.
Yeah, have a
message retracted. You're right.
That message retracted on yours in the feed.
Yeah, because I always see message deleted.
Yeah, but see, you're also a mod. You can even get someone else to do it. Well, you're the gold mod for this one, aren't you? But you can get anyone else of whatever rank when they do it. It'll do the same thing, retracted, if it was done yourself. He said they were deleted, which tells me, well, that was at least a blue mod that had done it. And then, sure, I'm just thinking, I wonder if Antonio Fletcher is in. And sure enough, Antonio pops up to be like, "Oh yeah, I was just deleting their shit." Of course,
that's what he does. And
Yep.
when you he also puts people in timeout, and when you do that, all of their previous comments are deleted.
See, most of the time, I don't even watch his
I
shit live. I watch it like the next, like, it's over. I can't stand listening to him live because I just, for some reason, I know nobody's gonna be able to interact with him, and I just don't bother. I got other things I'd rather do.
Yeah. Antonio simply just deletes people all the time, and he doesn't care. You ask him about it, he doesn't care. He says, I don't like him, so I'm deleting him.
Well, the other thing that happened in that video with reference to deleting was at one point, what the heck it came up, but he said something about Ronnie, that is, had said something about somebody accusing him of deleting comments from the video. Might have been Ned's comments himself. And Ronnie says in response to that immediately, "That is a lie. I did not delete his comments." Right? There's no mincing of words here. And he's saying 2 things. He's saying, well, that's three things. He's saying that Ned's making the claim that Ronnie has deleted Ned's comments, which I believe actually Ned did make that claim. But second, Ronnie says that Ronnie has not deleted Ned's comment. The third claim Ronnie's making is that Ned is lying. Ned is expressly lying about Ronnie having deleted his comments. Well, then listen 2 sentences later when Ronnie admits that he deleted all of Ned's comments.
I love that. But awesome.
Somehow Ned's still lying. Like, what the?
Yeah, that's what he's done to me. It's like remember that whole thing with, and he mentioned this the other day about the cytochrome C and the oxidation of oxygen that he was promoting, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I already schooled Steve on that." Blah blah. And Rational Mind's like, "No, you admitted you were wrong on that, and then you said you misspoke, and he at the same time didn't admit that Steve and Rational were correct on it." That's his. That's lying, how. Yeah, we're lying about it, even though he admitted he had misspoke. But at the same time, we were wrong. But it's like, how did your brain work here, Ronnie?
Oh, it works because he just simply feels that he's entitled. You know, he just feels that he deserves, this kind of entitlement. That's all. Yeah, I think.
By the way, I mean these by the way, these are called brand accounts. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, these are called brand accounts, right? And these brand accounts you can make by going to like YouTube settings and creating them on your channel. But I have found, like for example, when I tried doing the what's it, the Dumbfuck of the Year for Ronnie, when I tried using like doxastic dialectics to change the vote, right, to increase it, it would show as another vote, but when you refreshed it, it went back to what it was. So I don't know if those socks actually count for a like or dislike. You guys know?
I'm pretty sure they don't. That's done based on it's on a per channel basis.
Yeah, so I mean, I just thought, I was like, people were like, oh, let's create a bunch of socks and stuff the ballots. Yet I don't see that happening because all these numbers seem to be pretty legit.
Yeah, to do that, you would have to actually create a new YouTube channel.
Yeah,
which has to be based on an email address, and it goes through several steps. And people do it, but it's a slightly different thing.
Of course, Krill.
Yeah. By the way, Abe, just you'd put a function here in the side to determine your minimum sample size. That's the kind of thing I was talking about. Where what that refers to, if I understand your Greek letters and stuff correctly. And he said BRB. What does that mean? Does that mean he's not listening to me?
Yeah,
I thought that was part of the formula.
Part of the formula. Okay, let me see if I can look at this. Okay, P is your P value. That's 0.5, right?
Yeah. BRB followed by BYOB.
I thought BRB was the slope times the Pearson correlation coefficient.
It's BYOB with a P value of 0.5.
And then you have epsilon phi. A is your alpha. Is your significant alpha? Is that what the A is there? Like at 90, I remember something like at 90, like 95%, like A comes out like 2.73 squared or something.
No. If it's alpha, it's just your like your 5% thing. It's your threshold for. No, what is it?
I thought it was your significant alpha. See, it's been a long while.
Oh, he's got the phi of alpha over 2. Oh, I said that. Yeah, okay, that's converting it to probability density function. So why would you put alpha in there? You don't. It's the function of alpha, the phi of alpha. So anyway, the point is that what that is, he here? He's not here. He listened to this correction. But that's the formula you'd use when you say, well, I want to test whether I want to set up an experiment where I'm going to have, for example, 2 groups, and I want to know if there's a significant difference between the 2 groups, yay or nay. Do I want to reject the null hypothesis? Well, if you want to set up your experiment, and again, this is about hypothesis testing. Is the innocuous null hypothesis something that you just haven't got enough proof to reject and you have to retain it? Or can you design an experiment that is powerful enough to discriminate this effect so that likely when you've done your experiment, you're actually going to be able to reject your null hypothesis in preference for this alternate hypothesis? This formula gives you a way of starting with an estimate of how strong that effect probably is based on your previous experience or expertise, whatever, then deciding how big your sample needs to be to resolve this either big or small effect. And my point was this has almost nothing to do with the sample size for coming up with an inference for a value. Like if I want to know what is the average height of American males, or if I want to know what percentage of scientists hold one particular view versus an opposing view. When you're going to estimate a parameter, then you just go and you get whatever sample you can, and you say, well, this is my estimate, and this is, you know, plus or minus this amount. Here's my confidence interval, right? You can figure out the required minimum sample size for having a confidence interval of a particular width. If you want to make your confidence interval really, really narrow, if you said, well, I really need to know, like, you know, whether or not scientists believe this, yes or no, down to like within 1%. Well, then how many do I need to get that? Turns out not to be a function of how big the population is, but it turns out to be a function of how close to 50-50, or how far away from 50-50 the opinion is. But again, I just wanted to make the point. This is totally different from hypothesis testing when you're just trying to estimate the parameter.
Your population. I mean, don't you have like an infinite population? Use one thing. If it's I don't know what the cutoff was, like 50,000 or something. I think. But don't you have like if you have one thing? If you have just like an infinite population, which is a high number, and then if not, use a different formula.
It is, but the second one's almost never used. It's for almost most inference that you're doing, either inference or hypothesis testing. Let's stick with inference, parameter estimation. For most of the time, your population, you're often even thinking about an what's what I'm looking for, and in principle, it's like how many adult American males are there? You can treat that as just infinite. And now, obviously, for all practical purposes, it's not. Even if you took the full history of American males, well,
Ronnie would probably. I think he would probably point that out. If you'd be like, "Oh, they think these things. They think a finite number is an infinite." You know,
but it turns out not to make a difference. Now, let me strain to remember the proper formula. I mean, one of them, when you go to calculate the value of a parameter itself, if you had 10 people, you wanted to know their average height, you would add up their heights and you would divide by n. Plain and simple. If you want to make an inference, we got to talk about variance. You'd still divide by n in that case. You want to talk about the variance, you would add up the sum of squares, sum of square deviations, and then you would divide by n to come up with the average square deviation. But if you're only taking a sample of an infinitely large population, you would take the sum of square deviations and divide by n minus 1. And this is fascinating. This is like a 2-hour description of why you divide by n minus 1. Let's skip it, shall we? Okay, great. But if it's something in between, if
you lost half the audience right now. Seriously, I mean,
you know what? I've done this proof in classrooms with undergraduates when I've had to explain why it's n minus 1. But there's two answers to it. One of them is to say, well, that's your degrees of freedom for your sample.
Oh, I hated those. Okay. I never understood those. I don't get it. Because
it's gibberish. It's a non-explanation. If you tell a room full of first or second year undergrads that the reason why you divide by n in these circumstances and by n minus 1 in these other circumstances, and they say, well, why is that? You say, well, because you're really dividing by the degrees of freedom. Oh, okay. They'll write it in their notebooks, but that doesn't mean anything.
I'm not lying. I only went through the motions in stat. I swear to God, I did not understand the degree of freedom crap at all. I will never understand it. Yeah. So I'm not the only one that thinks that way, because I mean
everybody does. Everybody does it.
I don't feel so bad now. Thank you.
But I'll tell you, there is a second answer to it that you cannot impart on first and second year students because there just isn't time in the classroom and they're not interested enough anyway. But the actual reason is easy to demonstrate with an algebraic proof, but it's a tediously long algebraic proof. And when I used to do it, I don't know why I did this one year. I just blurted this out, and then this line stayed in my lectures forever, because I get down to the end and I know I'm losing the room at this point. So I get down to the end and I do this thing. It's like, oh, it's the square root of this big function with this and something, you know, all these sums and then squares and then divide by. And then I drew a big box around it, and I look at this and I go, I see this formula and I go, hey, wait a minute, my spider sense is tingling. Isn't that just the formula for variance? And when I said my spider sense is tingling, like people in the room perked up. And it's for some of them, it went in their notes. And I was like, that line's staying, because it's incredibly tedious proof. But when you get to the end of it, if you're interested in the mathematics of statistical inference, when you get to the end, and it nicely distills down to this very, very familiar formula that you learn in your first month of statistics, it's kind of a beautiful thing. But anyway, so I want to go back to your point about the whether your population is infinite, and then we should talk about something interesting. So you either, if you have every member of your population, you divide by n when you make an inference about variance, because you have them all. When you're making an inference from a sample to an infinite population, you divide by n minus 1. In truth, there's actually an intermediate form, and I think it's big N minus little n. No, it's 1 minus. There's a something minus something divided by something minus something.
X sub I minus X sub N squared summation.
No, it's all n's. It's all n's. It's and I think it's. Geez, I wonder if somebody help me out, rescue me. Somebody Google it.
What are we Googling? I don't even know what to Google.
It turns out to be, well, maybe it's 1 over big N minus little n.
What are we looking for?
Is it big N over little n? Oh, who remembers? The point is that for sufficiently large numbers, for sufficiently large values of big N, that is the population size, that whole formula just reduces to 1 over n minus 1. And I mean, it was a sufficiently large, anything over 10,000 or anything over 20. Like it's.
One so I do remember 1 over n minus 1. I do remember something like that.
Yeah, 1 over n minus 1 is a very common multiplier for something. In truth, if you're really an algebra purist, and you knew that you were drawing, say, for example, 100 cases to make an inference about 10,000 in the population, you would actually want to multiply it by 1 over, so I can't remember what it is now, but whatever, I could look it up, but whatever, it turns out to
you said Google it. So. See, I remember this one, like z squared, and then 0.5, 1 minus 0.5 over e squared. I remember that one. Some of these look kind of vaguely familiar, but anything here, like,
look for one that's got all n's in it. Oh, right there, right there. N, yeah, capital N. So big
This
N
one?
minus little n. Yeah, just the part that's under the within the radicand. Big N minus little n divided by big N minus 1.
Okay.
That's the actual true correction when you're using a sample.
You find out population correction.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I think I had it upside down. I said, I mean, when I was stammering through it, I think at one point, one of my stumbling guesses, I said n minus 1, a big N minus 1 over big N minus little n, but it's the other way around. But that would be the actual correction. And it turns out, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who does statistics for the purpose of inference in science actually uses that form of it. You basically say, well, look, we're reporting on a population which we've tested, or we're reporting on a sample that we're using to make inferences about a population, in which case they would just use 1 over n minus 1. I just feel like we've gone so far afield here. I wonder if the audience agrees.
Let me ask you a question. What do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to ask it anyway. What makes you? Okay, for example, like I'm sitting here going, shit. I don't remember this crap. If my life depended on it, I never liked it to begin with. I never understood things like degree of freedom very well. What do you think makes Ronnie want to like jump into this as like, look, I understand this one, and everybody else is wrong because he's like, Ned doesn't understand this shit. It's like nobody understands it, which I admit. I at least admit I don't understand stats very well, but I at least had it. I don't know where he's coming from on this.
Okay, when you said you wanted to ask me a question, I was experiencing the horror of everybody watching or participating in this broadcast who just went, no, don't ask him another question. That's a good question, though. That is a really interesting question. Why does Ronnie have to jump in? Like he wants to jump in both feet, but he ends up jumping in belly flop on every topic that comes up. And I'm curious to hear what everybody else thinks. My answer is I think he recognizes that it's the stereotype is atheists are the smart ones. Atheists know about science and Christians. Now, when he says Christians, he doesn't mean Christians. He means evangelicals. But I'm going to use his word for it, Christians. He's like, oh, and us Christians, meaning evangelicals, we're always come across as dumb and we don't know science and we don't know this and we don't know that. He is working to counter that, and he relishes showing here's a guy like Redline who talks a good game but actually doesn't know something about ATP synthase, and yet I know about ATP synthase. And then, oh, here's a guy like Negation of P who says something about inferential statistics or hypothesis testing methodology, and he doesn't know anything about that, but I do, he says. That's my theory. He's trying to put forward the front that he understands this stuff as a way of diffusing the ongoing image that creationists are dumb.
What does everybody else think on that? I mean, I really want to answer this because, again, most of us kind of back off on areas we don't feel comfortable really, discussing that much. Or like, coming out to say, let me explain how this works. If I know how something works, I'll be able to explain it. But when it comes to stats, shit, no, I'll leave it to you guys. But he thinks he's like an authoritative force on everything. It's just surreal.
Well,
I revert back to the comment that Hogtie made on somebody's Google post where evangelicals, or I call them fundies, have to be the best at everything on the planet.
So you think it's more of a competition thing, competitiveness? Because I don't know. I don't think
there's evangelicals. There's evangelicals who aren't as arrogant as true empiricism or many of the other people we deal with. I mean, there's millions of evangelicals in the United States.
Yeah, but these guys are a special case, even of evangelicals.
But I still think it's Dunning-Kruger. It's Dunning-Kruger. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how accurate what I just found is, but it's an article dealing with there's 2 million U.S. scientists identifying as evangelical. That would be 17% of the scientists.
2 million?
Yes.
No.
Well, evangelical doesn't.
I'm only going by the title and then looking at the breakdown in the article.
Evangelical is just a denomination, and there's a lot of variation within a denomination, and I bet a lot of them are not necessarily young Earthers, young Earth creationists.
Oh, no.
They might be.
No, most evangelicals don't accept that. They reject it. It's just the crackpot crazies within their group who run towards it.
Yeah. We have sort of a distorted lens that we're viewing the evangelicals.
So you think we have a skewed data set that we have a high proportionality of evangelicals are just complete nut jobs? Okay,
right.
I agree. By the way,
like Steve, we can find nut jobs who are atheists.
Well, it's like when Hogtie was talking about his Christmas stuff. He's like, "Oh, hey, somebody's talking about flat Earth." Hogtie's like, "Yes, I don't run into people on a daily basis in my real life that ever would bring up flat Earth. It just never happened." So,
plus, no one ever comes up to me on the street and says, "Hey, can you justify morality? Can you justify the laws of logic?"
How do you know that?
Go to New Jersey and you will.
Yeah. No one's going to accost me on the street with the camera saying, "Hey, this guy thinks he's smarter than Christians."
Yeah, we have an unusual cross section. There's no question about that.
I think it's just a very inflated sense of self entitlement and self-worth, self-importance that somebody like Ronnie has. It's very inflated, and then his ability to understand the other people around him is very constricted.
Do you agree he's gotten worse though, Brenda? Like much worse,
well,
notably.
I don't know that I've been around long enough to gauge that.
Well, he was even talking about the scientific descent of Darwinism, which is, something that has been long since showed to be massively skewed, and half of them weren't even PhDs, and the other ones they claimed to be, they were fictitious people, and the ones that were real were like, oh, we didn't know what we were signing, even, right? And it was very, very poorly phrased. And he's like using this as an example to say, hey, look at evolution. A lot of everybody accepts it. Well, that's not what the scientific descent from Darwinism was even about. It was about Darwinian mechanisms, not
he simply doesn't care. I've seen him in Hangouts, and he does not even listen to the other person. You've seen seen that many times when he is completely oblivious to what the other person is saying.
Even the short time that I've been on the scene. Go ahead, Brenda. I'm sorry.
No, I was done.
Okay. Even the short time that I've been on the scene, it's just I've seen his videos, and now he's going back and actually revising history on what's actually happened. It's just there's no room for him to accept that, hey, maybe he's not accepting the fact that he could be wrong.
Oh no, they do not believe they could be wrong, right? You got to remember the intelligent design movement and the young Earth creationists. They have the mindset that they are absolutely positively correct, bar none, no matter what. If there's any data that goes against it, the data is wrong. Period. That's how they're raised. Especially young Earth creationists.
Yeah, I guess they're not believers in the peer review process then.
But we're talking about somebody who still thinks that he won the debate on Pi with me.
You were corrected. You were shown to be wrong.
Yeah, I was shown to be wrong.
Very famous history on that topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
30 divided by 10 equals 3.
He really believes that he won that.
Did you watch that, Hogtie? Did you watch that whole debacle?
The actual original pi discussion with Brenda, yes, I did. I'm going to say 4 times. I had it on my phone, and as I mentioned, I do a lot of driving, and I would just hard up for entertainment. I watched that. I listened to it 4 times. I relished it. I laughed so hard. The only thing it was so bad. It was just
Brenda's
so
like, you're
many
all
moments.
fucking stupid.
I know. Well, that was one point I have to say. I would seek to scold Brenda in public a little bit about this too. So, really,
I feel bad about it.
Sure.
Everybody's been telling me, oh yes, you're
I thought it was
qualified.
hilarious.
No, I
doesn't
did.
help to say stuff like that.
My middle class values tell me
I thought it was
that was the
hilarious,
wrong.
Brenda.
It was
I
the
don't
wrong
scold
thing
you.
to
I
do.
don't scold you for that.
I know
That's the best part.
To clarify, I'm not saying that you don't have a factual basis for that or a rational justification for coming to the conclusion that he's an effing idiot. I'm just saying that, that you pointing it out doesn't really help that conversation.
The way she said it, though,
I know she's laughing.
The condescension and laughing in her voice was just perfect. You know, she's like,
well,
oh,
I'd reached a breaking point. I'd reached a breaking point with his silliness.
Well, the 11-minute discussion about what 10 divided by 30 could possibly be.
Yes.
Was it was
no, and then in that video he kept asking you where your values were coming from. And you're like, it's from that scripture.
You don't have a moral code. You don't know pi.
Well, actually, there's an interesting thing in there too about the flow of that conversation, and then when you hear Ronnie's recent retelling of it, he did say that, well, thank goodness Antonio was there to find this article that basically just explained everything, and totally forgetting that I believe Brenda's point initially was that, look, this is what it says in the Bible about the size of this vessel that was being made, that had been made for this temple, and she accepts, as I think most people should accept, that section describing this majestic temple was not. It's not an engineering guide. It's not blueprints for how to build a thing. It was a general account. The way some people will say, well, that thing's 10 feet long and it's 4 feet high. Like, it's not meant to be exact dimensions. So the fact that it doesn't work out precisely, like, what were they supposed to say? What does it work out to? 9.5. I can't remember the number. 9.55.
9.55. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the diameter is correct, then the correct value of the if the circumference is correct, then the correct value of the diameter should be 9.54.
And you could see in casual description that somebody would say, well, it's 30 things around and it's 10 things across. You go, you ever see that thing? Well, it had to be like 10 things, 10, in this case, cubits. You know, people just, when it's 9.55, 9.54, whatever it was, they'll just blurt out, well, that's, look how big that thing is. It's got to be 10 whatever's across, in this case, cubits. Yeah. And Brenda was very quick to accept that as the explanation for it.
Yes, I was.
I would have been more surprised to see a 3rd or 4th century BC writing that referred to something as being 9. To me, that would have made it incredible. But it is lacking all credibility. If you showed me a document that was purported to have been written in the 3rd century BC, and it refers to something being so many point something units of something, I would just say that's not authentic, because that's not how the ancient Jews had written about dimensions at that time. And okay, so that's fine. But no, they were going, G-Man and his whole thing about, well, you have to know what that meant to the ancient Hebrews, or you haven't got an argument at all. What? Well, why do we have to?
When were decimal or fractional numbers even invented? It was quite late, wasn't it?
Well, they had other ways.
Didn't the Egyptians have their like Egyptian mathematics was a little bit different than the type of system we use now?
But
I'm not aware of that.
The Sumerian. So even before
they didn't have like irrational numbers.
Not irrational numbers. That was a huge source of confusion. But the rational numbers were established by the ancient Sumerians, like well before any of the biblical texts. The Sumerians had already been dealing with that issue, and then the Greeks had their own system, but it was written differently. And famously, like I would say Muslims, not as a religious thing, but the Arabic system for accounting for rational numbers. I'm gonna say 5th century AD, but that one I feel like I'm going to be corrected on most quickly. But the thing is, so these things, you can't say that something was invented like the way that USB Type C ports were invented, and then suddenly all over the world everybody's using USB-C. right? That's not how it worked back then. These were things that were tied culturally, and within certain fields in a certain region of the world, they would have a way of accounting for rational numbers. And then that idea might spread to other academicians elsewhere around the world over a period of centuries. But did they get cultural penetration? I mean, you've got guys like William Shakespeare, who was writing in when did Shakespeare write? Help me, it was the 14th, 15th century, whatever, a long time afterwards. Yeah, and he didn't use decimal numbers because it didn't penetrate non-technical cultures.
And that's the math discussion for the day.
That was sociology, not math.
Yeah, but Hogtie, when you're building a pyramid, it's also easier to use whole numbers.
Well, they didn't. That was
I'm
aliens.
just saying when you're building things like that, yeah, you just don't use a fraction, just use the whole unit.
No, that was the aliens that built the pyramids, and,
You know,
they had decimal numbers.
Now
Yeah.
I really want to know
And
now.
tractor beams.
I really want to know now if Ronnie accepts like the 0.99 repeat equals 1. I really want his mathematical expertise on that.
That would be.
I want to know. Somebody ask him, because obviously, he won't even respond to me. But somebody, when next time you see Ronnie, ask him if 1 equals 0.99 repeating is true. And I really, really do want to know what he has to say on it.
Oh, you could mess him up with that too.
I could fuck him up on that royally. I got that argument down to an art form. I got like 8 different proofs from that one.
You could get him to accept the wrong answer very easily, I think.
Oh, yeah, sure. If I even said, hey, yeah, 1 is greater than 0.9 repeating, it's true, Ronnie. He would. If actually G-Man said it, he would believe it, right?
Yep.
No, if you said it, if you said quite accurately that 1 is equal to 0.99 repeating 9, they would think that it doesn't equal that because you love your sin and hate God.
Because I said it, yes. So I have to be absolutely wrong.
And you're stupid,
Absolutely.
crazy.
Absolutely.
Let me know how that works out. If anybody gets a chance to watch Ronnie, go post to him or something. I really do want to know if he's that bad at mathematics for him to say, oh, obviously 1 is greater than 0.9 and repeating. At that point, it's just, what else? We already know he sucks at math, but God.
Just because he's not a scientist doesn't mean he's not dumb.
No shit,
That's
right?
true. That's a true
Steve,
thing.
hold on. There's something a lot of people are missing here. You have to remember that every village has its idiot. The internet.
Hang on. We got to take okay, real quick. I'm sorry, he's leaving. Thank you for dropping
sorry.
by.
I just disclosed the reason in the side chat there. But yeah, thanks. There was a
drop by more often. Glad to have you back a little bit.
See you later, Hogtie.
We'll get a hold. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry you missed the whole discussions with Dr. Ross. I would have liked to have you involved, but you never responded.
No, I was gone during the whole time. I did see the video pop up in my feed of like videos I haven't seen yet. Well, I did open a tab for it. I'm definitely at least watching.
I'm talking to Mary Schweitzer. When she gets off vacation,
really?
Hopefully she'll pop. Yeah, really.
No, are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Yeah, she's
so awesome. Great.
Yeah,
great. All right. Well, good night, everybody.
You gonna be there for that one? Would you be there for that one?
I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? But I think it is a great idea.
Okay.
To talk to Dr. Schweitzer about sort of how the emotional roller coaster that came with that discovery, the publication efforts and what it all meant, and then what has happened in the time since. I think that would be an absolutely amazing discussion as a layman. If you can talk her into it, you absolutely should. I'd love to be part of it. But whatever happens, that'd be great. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to finalize it next month. She's in Montana right now, so she's doing a Christmas thing. But she knows of the Great Debate community now, and she's interested. So,
all right. Well, good night, all. I'll listen to this later on.
Peace,
See you then.
Hey, we got some new people in the live feed. I want to Madeline over here. She's a theistic evolutionist, I believe. I went into this group the other night. I mentioned it the other day. I'll mention it again. It was ran by this cross-dresser named Amanda May. I think Amanda Mays. Really, really nice chick. She was really cool. She's a flat earther and she's a young earther, but she actually listened to what the evidence was against flat earth. I mean, for about, a good half hour last night, I dropped in and she asked a lot of questions, but unlike most flat earthers, she didn't like outright just reject what I had to say. And I find that to be refreshing. So, I appreciate that, Madeline. You were in the live feed on that too. So anyone from that group is more than welcome to ever come over here by all means.
Do you ever plan on inviting that Muslim apologist that was debating Aaron Ra?
Who was that?
on Aaron Ross' channel, there was a debate he had with a Muslim apologist. I can look that up. I can look up his name.
Well, I don't do anything like with the Muslim. I mean, I leave that to like guys like Saigon. What's his name? What's his name? Saigon of Akid.
Saigon of Akkad.
Akkad, yeah.
Well, it was just a standard.
That's his thing.
It was not really a different argument than that Christians make. I mean, really, when you get down to it.
Well, I mean, I'll host any of these things, right? If people want to have a discussion on any of these topics, my room is an open channel, right? I wouldn't get involved because I don't know jack shit about the Quran. I mean, fuck no.
Well, it was over creationism, so I mean, the arguments were basically identical, it just from a slightly different point of view. I just thought it would be interesting as a change of pace.
Yeah, no, I mean, if anybody has any kind of recommendations, I'm cool with it. I mean, I could get a hold of Sargon. I'm on his Twitter feed. I've commented things there before, and also Armored Skeptic and Logic and all those guys. But Logic was actually supposed to moderate a debate between me and Red's Rhetoric. The one and only time I would debate Reds. But you guys know what the topic was? Would have been? Come on, what would Reds and I have a debate upon? Nobody?
Waffle versus pancakes.
Come on, one person out there has to know what we
dumb fuck of the year.
Yes, yes. I'm promoting Ronnie. He's promoting his boy Antonio Super Rats, and that would be one hell of a fun debate. I would own Reds. I would own your soul.
Just post all the mathematical bullshit that Ronnie's done, and Reds would actually have Red would probably convert that way.
Well, I mean, he did actually. After Reds had a little debate with him, he's like, you know what? I don't even care if Ronnie wins anymore. That's fine. I'll be just as happy because he is a huge dumb fuck.
What is Red studying, by the way? What does Red study?
He's studying to be a rocket scientist.
He literally has a job waiting for him at NASA once he finishes college.
He says he's actually really hating his current job at the moment.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, most people know what he does. I don't think it's not a secret, is it?
No, no, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really keep up to date.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think most people know. I don't want. If he comes in and says, that's fine. But
okay. All right, fair enough.
I can say this: he deals with a lot of fucking retarded people, and has to be really nice to him. So he has to. That's why he comes on the internet and takes it out with the rest.
I know what he's doing, Steve. He works in a call center.
Yeah, similar actually.
As soon as you said he deals with idiot people, has to be nice to them. He's working in a call center.
Something along those lines.
As long as he's not talking to Gmail, that's
can you imagine?
Going to be a step up.
Can you imagine Red being like a computer tech? Do you have power in your home? Is your computer plugged in? Are you a dumb fuck?
Okay, look. The reason why your computer doesn't work is because you're a dumb fuck.
Well, that's a good reason.
ID 10 tiers. But yeah, Eric says, Steve's inclusive and he welcomes flat earthers. Yeah, anybody can come in and try to make a case. But the problem I find with flat earthers is they're even worse than young earthers. When you do give a flat earther, just something that here's an overwhelming evidence that disproves your model, they immediately jump to something else. Immediately. I mean, they don't even want to acknowledge that what you're saying is factual as far as the math and physics, right? Every single time. Heavy, you doing the Dragnot thing here? Look at this. There you go.
I heard
you know what? We'll have a hangout one day with you, Drag Me. Well, I'll be topless. I don't care.
I heard you just asking what would you and Red be arguing about, and forgive me for this, but I was going to say I was thinking laxism.
Oh no, he's no. I think he accepts my position when it comes to that.
Oh, and
we'll have a topless hangout one day. What can we call a topless hangout? By the way, only men are invited. Nothing sexist, but we're gonna have a topless hangout. The only thing we can get away with is having men topless, unless the women have like the camera like above the boob line.
We're gonna have a topless hangout and discuss nipples.
How come women don't do that more often? Is that, I mean, what does YouTube do? I mean, it have to be age restricted, but can women actually do that? Can they have like a topless hangout where they're just like the camera is like just above the boob line? Or is that something that YouTube would flag?
They would probably flag it because of the amount of skin that is showing.
Yeah, I just wondering.
It doesn't actually matter what you're showing.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Now, what about a bunch of guys like me? Like for example,
it still may actually do it because
Really?
again, it's the amount of skin that is being shown.
I think you
What
might
if
be
it's just
right.
like a really white shirt?
Speak of the devil, look at it. He's in.
Yeah, a really poorly lit white shirt might actually do it too.
It's ridiculous.
I
Yeah,
do
no
know
shit.
back in the day, people's videos would get flagged if they were yelling and shouting too much, because it would be determined that video was you were
harassment
or rage and yelling at somebody. When in fact you may not have actually, if you would have listened to it, you would have discovered they weren't actually yelling at anyone in particular.
I remember
What about
when
laughing
YouTube
too
first,
hard?
Yeah. When YouTube first started, you could never see a boob or a nipple. Now they're all over the place.
Oh yeah, even
When I first got on YouTube, you're right, but you would always find that dark little corner with all the weird fetish crap, and you wondered why it was always this stuff would never get flagged, but it was not allowed on YouTube.
Okay, true story. When I first encountered YouTube, the videos that were being recommended or whatever YouTube had on their homepage or whatever, they were all like Asian, big busted Asian girls like running on the beach.
Yeah.
Well, one of the more popular videos is there's actually a sexual education film on YouTube that is just as just as graphic as anything you would find on Pornhub, just as graphic. But it's under education.
Those recommendations are based on your search history, so you know.
Yeah.
You watch it once, and all of a sudden you get all this recommendation.
Yeah.
Did your parents ever have that talk with you, Steve? Come on.
I'm still trying to figure out how that shit works. Yeah, so Madeline's like, I can't understand why anybody would think the Earth is flat. Well, you know what? Like I said, I would love to talk to Amanda more about it. You know, when she comes in here one of these days, we know how many different ways to explain to people that the Earth is not flat, and they're not even. It's not even something that you can even debate. I mean, it's just the way it is. The Earth is not flat. Period. End of story. I mean, it's like people saying gravity doesn't exist. Of course, gravity exists. You know, you can drop something. Gravity exists.
Well, flat earthers deny gravity too.
Yeah, they call it density.
Whatever the fuck that means.
They don't even fucking know. They relate it to planes.
Flat earthers cannot even explain hills.
Mic check.
Yep.
Or they'd call it acceleration and try to work out something about, oh, we can't hit the speed of light, or we did, but no one noticed.
Well, Reds is on lunch break, right?
Yeah, I'm on lunch break at my shitty job.
Yeah, well, you got to get out of that male prostitution, dude. I'm telling you, it's not healthy for you. It's not that you enjoy.
It's the only way I feel loved, Steve.
I get people who hold me. Yeah, sorry your job's sucking right now.
Yeah, surprised they actually let me go for a 30. Yesterday, I didn't even get that luxury.
Well, I think that's required by law in California to get a 30.
Did they just give you a trip to the bathroom and say, there's your break?
Speaking of which, I don't know why. I had a craving. When I heard Reg was at lunch, for something in my mind went to go. I was like, oh, you know what? Good time for a smoke break. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't smoke anymore. See, every so often I still get a craving. Weird.
Yeah, I get that. At the oddest times, I'll go, damn, a cigarette would go good right now.
Yeah.
That's how powerful that is. That's that.
But it's not like it's overwhelming. It's just like, yeah, for some reason, a cigarette sounds really good right now, but I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'll make some coffee instead, so I'll be right back. Let me give you guys mods.
But yeah, speaking of completely unproductive conversations about flat earthers, I got something brewing for Wednesday.
What you got?
A one-on-one debate between me and G-Man.
Oh, fuck no.
Really?
You're really going to go through with that?
It's another opportunity for a Gus fundraiser. And
so
he wants to take Ronnie's side about the God of the Gaps argument.
Is it going to be moderated?
Yeah, by Hannah.
What? Okay, what is that argument that he thinks God of the Gaps is like? It's sometimes not fallacious.
It's no. Hold on, Brett and Steve. The argument is not relevant. It's just that a lot of people will tune in to hear the argument, and Red is only going to use this to promote the fundraiser.
No, I get that. But I mean,
that's all it is.
No, I totally understand that. But Ronnie does have something against the God of the Gaps, and is it that he's trying to think that the God of the Gaps is not always fallacious, because it is always fallacious.
Well, it's inference to the best explanation. God is always the best explanation. Therefore, God.
Yeah.
Essentially, G-Man said that I am misapplying the God of the Gaps rebuttal, I guess, and so he wants to.
What?
Entertainment.
Take me to town on it.
So okay, oh my God, G-Man trying to show you that you're not using a fallacy correctly. That's epic. That's like Antonio Fletcher explaining, when he does his little hangouts explaining fallacies. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? He gets every one of them wrong. Every single one of them. Antonio Fletcher's got.
I heard Ronnie thought that fallacy of division is pointing out a fallacy of division.
What? Really? No, I haven't even heard that one.
It was on a JD Kane hangout. At TST.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that one, Reds. I'll listen.
Man, on Wednesday.
Okay. Well, God damn it. See, you know what? I want to help out Gus too, and unfortunately, I'm not financially able to do so. The most I can do is put his fundraiser in my feed, and I don't mind doing that. But if G-Man or Ronnie on any channel want to have a debate or discussion with me to help Gus out, I will be willing to. It's the one and only time I'll ever do something like that, because I want to feel like I'm contributing to help Gus out. So there it is.
I've also promised Gus that every time I get a paycheck, I'm going to give him $100.
That's really nice of you.
Wow. Yeah.
Red, could you adopt me, please?
No shit. I don't even have I don't even have people that No, I actually had somebody I'm not gonna lie. Somebody actually donated $200 once. One of my favorite people on the the YouTube thing. So yeah, there's a lot of giving people out there. I'm not gonna say who, because there's it's supposed to be an anonymous thing, but they're people want to have anonymity, and I get that. Right.
Yeah, I'll be doing this for Gus, also donating another $100 to him when the debate actually starts. So yeah, I'll basically be going up against G-Man on Wednesday on Hannah's channel. So yeah, that's going to happen.
Can you let the G-Man know that I offer the same offer if he wants to beat me on Hannah's channel on any topic of his choice. I don't care. I'll take him up on it.
Yeah,
but I'll do it. Yeah, because but he has to donate something to Gus's fundraiser if he wants. I don't care whatever amount he decides. Because they'd offered me $100 to debate him, and I turned him down. But for Gus, I will take him up on it. But he has to donate something to his fundraiser. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that for charity.
Didn't Spoken with I'm not going to give you any money, I'm just going to pray for you or something like that?
Well, fuck.
Well, Spoken has pretty much admitted that he's a complete troll.
Right. But I just feel like I have to give. I ask people for Patreon, right? Between $1, $5, $10 a month, and I have to give something back. And the only way I can do that is by doing something like, okay, G-Man, fine, I'll debate you on whatever the fuck you want to talk about. I don't care, or Darwin's, or I don't care, any of them. A half hour of my time on any topic they want. Just give me a couple days heads up so I can at least prepare. But sure. It's out there, guys. So any dumb fucks over there in Clown Car Posse, here's your chance to help Gus out and have your chance at me. I will do that on hand.
You're putting forward any dumb fucks. I'll defeat any dumb fucks.
any dumb fuck for charity.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. The only reason I don't is because I know it pisses them off. I've said this a million times. I am so not scared of these fucks, right? I don't care. So it's only by the way, you need to turn your camera off. I know you've got a brown bag on it, which is your face, but.
Yeah, I figured it would be Hans, which is why I have, because I plan ahead.
No, that's actually his face. That's the brown bag over his face.
Yeah, hang on, I'm just putting shit away.
Okay.
Because my sandwich is done, and I'm going to go to someplace a little bit more quiet. I apologize in advance.
But anyway, so like I said, that's out there. So anybody who runs to the Clown Car Posse, say, hey, Steve said anything you want to talk about. I don't care. Just let me know ahead of time.
All right. I am in a very quiet office.
If it helps Gus, I'll do it.
All right. Now let's see. How the fuck do I turn this?
Or even better. Even better. How about this? They can come in and ask me any fucking question they want, and I will be as truthful as possible. If they, anything, I don't care if anything they want to talk about, whatever it is.
Can we have a practice run all the way down the line?
Like what?
What?
Okay, so I'm going to start with Heavy Hauler. All right, Heavy Hauler. Question: If you had to choose one of these, having your nuts completely surrounded by fire ants, or sitting on a cactus, which one would you go for?
He literally has a cactus.
Cactus, got it.
My daughter plays this game. She calls it "Would You Rather."
You can pull them out. That fire ant been on its days a while.
I'm gonna make coffee because I don't like playing these games. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
No, go ahead. I can't answer these kind of questions. I'm like, no, neither one of them. They both suck. Fuck that. No. I gotta make coffee.
What have I done?
Unleash the beast.
I think I missed something. Where'd the question come? What was up with the question?
I don't know.
Red's just trying to entertain himself there.
it was raining. I need some entertainment in this third world hellhole I call my job. Okay, I'm trying to make it through the night. God damn it!
Take a crap and don't.
I was right. Red's working at a call center.
At a call center?
Yeah.
No, I don't work at a call center.
Oh damn.
No, I'll give you a hint. I work in insurance. I take calls, but it's not a call center. It's an office.
It's still, you're dealing with people on a phone.
If you're talking about,
I am dealing with people on the phone.
Actually have,
and they phone you. They phone in. So it's. Yeah.
He's an insurance broker.
I'm one of these people you call when you have a very bad day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So for example, Brenda, let's say you gave me a call, okay?
Okay. Ring ring.
And so I would then, look at the damage on your vehicle and tell you the following. Okay, Brenda, you fucked up here, a lot here, and a little more here. I'm writing you a check for this much. Have a good day. Brenda would reply, but this isn't enough to fix the car. I said have a good day.
Okay. All right. I want to kill you now.
There you go. See what I mean?
So you talk directly with customers. You're not just setting insurance codes and processing.
No, I also talk with repair shops and tow trucks.
Because there's people that do that all day. They just process the codes.
Yes.
No, Red could handle that because it doesn't involve actually talking to dumb people.
I was not so lucky to achieve that position. So yeah, I actually do talk to people.
I can see why you hate your job. You get yelled at all the time.
But can they see your face?
Thankfully not, because if they did, they would probably find a different insurance company. Actually, I should investigate in that. Holy crap, that would make my job a lot easier because then I get to call, get calls less.
Yeah. See, there you go. You owe me.
There we go.
I'll send you a bill. I'll send you a bill for my consulting fee.
All right, Brenda, what do I owe you?
You owe me a really good smackdown of G-Man when you debate him.
Oh, I was going to give you that for free, but okay.
Can't you just call G-Man up directly yourself at your work?
I ever get
I can assume that'll be a
call
very
from-
entertaining call.
I don't think it's going to work out. What's up, man? And so with that there though, I think what G-Man's going to try to do is that G-Man was pissed off for Ronnie because Ronnie got his ass kicked, and so now he wants to try and come to his rescue. I think that's what this is all about.
But Ronnie doesn't think he got his ass kicked.
Yeah, but G-Man is one of these people. Since G-Man and Ronnie are dating, they can kind of see past that, that face that they put on, and so it's like, Ronnie, come on, we're lovers. I know that you are pissed off because Red bent you over backwards and gave it to you very rough with no lube while wearing a sandpaper condom. So I'll come to your rescue. Let me go after Red.
That's a fair description.
I don't know if that's an image I want.
But that's a fair description of what happened.
Exactly. And so with that, G-Man apparently got in contact with Hannah and said, listen, you need to tell Redline that I want to debate him right now concerning God of the Gaps. And I'm like, okay, fine. That's cool, I guess. So Hannah gave me a text and said, is Wednesday going to work? And I said, yes. So Wednesday it is.
Does G-Man have a thing for Hannah?
Don't know. I do know that they met before.
Yes.
What they did, not exactly sure. But I do know that G-Man and Hannah has each other's numbers, but Hannah also has my number, and so she was the mediator between me and G-Man.
What time is this going on Wednesday, by the way?
I don't know quite yet, but I think it's going to be sometime around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern.
Okay, so about noon my time.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Well, Hannah's just a very nice person, and in fact, G-Man is quite a different person when he's not on the internet and trying to sell his channel. I really don't give a shit how he acts in real life. All I know is that he apparently called Hannah frothing at the mouth because he wants a piece of me for some reason. So, okay, fine. If you really want, I'll give it to you.
Didn't he say that in 2017 he was going to dedicate the time to unmasking me, whatever that means?
Yeah, he said that he was going to take an image of my hideously ugly face and post it everywhere. And I keep telling people, listen, guys, my face is not that important. I don't understand why you fuckheads want to see what I look like so bad. There's nothing impressive there.
Yeah, I swear to God, after I saw him, I was like, what the fuck is all this hype about? Yeah,
exactly.
It's just nothing. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing. Okay, so there's one thing I want to correct. When Hannah said I was an H, she forgot to put a negative in front of that. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't find Reds attractive because I'm a dude, but I mean, I guess women, I don't know.
Well, besides that, I mean, Steve, even if you were like, let's say you did bat that way, I guarantee you would look at me and go, "Ah, oh, what a poor, ugly ass troll." I think he's a burn victim. Maybe his face was melted.
Well, I mean, I thought it was genetic. I didn't realize it was like, he had skid marks from asphalt or whatever the fuck it was.
No. Most of it is genetic. The skid marks and the dragging of my face was to make me look better.
Try to improve it.
Exactly. So what I did was I stuck my face underneath the rotor blades of a John Deere tractor. And that really did improve it by at least 1,000%.
You should at least get your like lower lip fixed. I mean, the way it sags down kind of looks like you look retarded, in my opinion. But whatever.
Sags down to the left, a little skewed. It looks like it's made of shit. Covered
so
in
not
pus.
Symmetrical.
Exactly.
Do you know that people find beauty in symmetry? I don't know. That's like the big thing. If your face is symmetrical, you're considered to be beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if my face is ugly, if it's equally as ugly on each side, maybe that will offset it. Maybe it'll go back to a 0. I'm not exactly sure.
But yeah, I mean,
Johnny Bad doesn't think Red looks too bad. Johnny
Who?
Bad, Red would be out in the outside chat. Reds would be a cute twink in the gay world.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, that's true. I think twinks would like Reds actually.
Okay, hang on. I'm not cute in any world, so
He'll be a twink, actually. Bears would like him.
I seriously don't know what you people. I mean, seriously.
He's just because Reds is young.
Redline, you have the internet. Just go Google it.
All I'm saying is that there's really nothing to be hyped up about my face. It's ugly. That's all you need to know.
I'll tell you what,
It's
his
so
ass
ugly,
is fucking spectacular. He has the best ass on G+.
Oh wow.
But you just see the entire room just go silent from that.
Yeah, I was like,
what the fuck did I just walk into?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to that. And like I said, I wouldn't mind. We're going to do debating dump fucks for charity. That's the thing.
There's only one thing that I'm having a problem with. It's that I want to make sure that G-Man stays on topic, which I know is going to be a fucking big mod because G-Man likes to ramble on and on and on and never fucking shuts up.
When he starts with this whoa, 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 you know he's going off in left field.
Exactly. So I need to find some way to kind of corral him and mitigate that, or Hannah has to, being that she's going to be the one moderating the damn thing.
Okay,
so
I'll tell you what, Red.
A 2x4.
When you see G-Man before you go on air, tell him, yeah, I'll debate him on it. He has to show that I'm an atheist. That's fair.
Ooh.
That's be good, right?
No.
I'll do that. He's been itching to do that, so there you go. I'll do that. I'll do that for Gus for charity. I'll be happy to. If he wants to show that I'm atheist on Hannah's channel, just let me know. It's a one-shot thing, and it has to be before the end of the year because next year I have to do. Like, I'll probably do it once a year, kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I'm on break. Leave me alone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone's trying to motion me through the window. I'm like, no, go away.
Does everybody know what? I mean, you've said many times what you do, and I know what you do. But I mean, do you care when people ask if we tell them? Or
I've already told people I work in insurance. Yeah. I'm the guy you call when you have an accident, and I'm the guy that eventually writes your checks.
He has to be really nice. Okay, even a person like I love this. Even a person calls up and they have the most fucked up story in the world, he has to assume that it's legit. It's just like I would lose my mind.
Like
yeah, I mean, I ran into a hill 5 times. You know.
Well,
do you determine?
You'd be surprised how many people call in and it's a fraudulent call. So I have to sift through that bullshit as well.
Are you the one who actually determines if it's fraudulent?
Well, we have to essentially report flags to a higher up, people, and that's where that. But the only way it gets to them is if I label something as suspicious.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do you flag it yourself, saying you know what you have, and do you have a report of how accurate your suspicions are?
Well, yeah, there's no really any report. There's no penalizing because the way that they figured out is that it's better to be safe than sorry. And so the way it works is that if I flag something as suspicious, it gets sent to someone else that's not me to actually look into it.
Second level review. Yeah,
correct. It's like an extreme board thing. But
do you most of the time, find out if you're right or not?
Well, yeah. Sometimes they come through and it's completely legit. It's just that the story is so fucked up. I have to basically assume the worst. It's like, okay, your car wrecked how again? And then they describe this incredibly unlikely event where there was a banana peel in the middle of the road and that made them lose traction and spin 360
Jesus smoked my car.
And collided into a flock of seagulls, which then blinded them until they accidentally stepped on the gas and hit the wall. Yeah, shit like that.
I'd like to see a story like that.
Well, I do get stories like that, and so if it wasn't for the fact that I don't want to dox myself, I go into specifics. But the fact is that that's what I do as a job, and I talk to people when they're at their absolute worst. They just had an accident. They're completely irritated. They're completely impatient. They don't want to give you any fucking detail because they don't want to screw themselves. And so that's why my job is so fucking stressful.
Yeah, that's why you get on the internet and have to let loose on flat earthers.
Exactly.
Oh, and the fact that Ronnie's out of the great debate community on any other topic.
Of course. And that's why, Brenda, you fucked up here, 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 here. Here's your check. Have a good day. I said have a good day.
Fuck you.
Good day, sir.
Fuck you.
I'm basically the guy that gives them the bad news.
Let me talk to your superior.
I am the superior bitch.
I am the superior.
Red, try working in a call center where you do internet banking.
Why would I work at a call center?
Oh, well, that's basically what you're doing right now. Is
What's a computer?
No, you got people who are on the side of the road using a cell phone, talking to you with heavy traffic going by, trying to get you to send a wire, and they have to fill out a form first. They can't get the form because they have no internet because they're trying to buy a house, and all they can do is swear and yell at you. Where normal people would have this shit done and figured out weeks in advance.
People are confused by technology. Like my mom right now, she doesn't understand that. For example, if your name is on an account, you can take money out. But if you don't have your name on an account, you can put money in. And she's not understanding that like the social services worker in her case has been telling us she has to take my sister off her account because my sister's taking money out of her account. My mom's like, well, if I do that she can't put money back in. And we just trying to explain to my mom, it doesn't work that way. Anybody can put money into your account. It's not that hard to do from any bank. But she doesn't grasp simple technology, right?
Oh, no, Steve, I'm talking about people who... I had a lady phone me, and she wanted to know where the official check was that she ordered to take money out of her account. So I tracked down the letter, where it was. It had 7 to 10 business days to arrive. It went by courier, because that's how she asked for it. So it has 3 to 5 business days, but it arrived the day after she ordered it. She can't find it. It turns out it's on her kitchen table.
No.
6 months later, she calls it again, just as irate, looking for this official check again, a different one. It's like, lady, I can tell by looking at the notes here on your case file that every time you call in, it's for the exact same reason.
By Alzheimer's.
Well,
no, her son receives the check and signs for it, puts the envelope on the kitchen table with the rest of the mail, and then fails to tell his mom the check arrived. And she fails to look at her mail.
Well, it's I guess you could say I work in a call center, but we have individual offices. I guess it's a little bit more roomy than a call center. It's not like cubicles like you see in India or anything like that for me.
Yeah.
Do you get business cards?
We do have business cards. Can you have one? No, go fuck yourself.
Oh. I had a gentleman who called in who wanted his account closed and locked because he was on a 3-day coke bender and he didn't want to spend any more money.
Unless you're Brenda. Brenda can call me anytime. I'll be more than happy to write that check.
He then proceeded to call in 27 more times that evening.
Well, he's on coke, so yeah.
Yeah, wondering why his account's locked and why he can't get money. And we had to explain to him 27 times that he called in and locked his own accounts.
See, Toothless Roadkill says, Steve, can you tell me why my internal combustion engine won't run? Have you tried using gasoline? I mean, that's usually the cause. Could be, spark plugs.
If you fill your gas tank with orange juice, that usually is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I previously.
Now, if you run a diesel, you can actually just put grease in there and it'll actually work, but that doesn't work for a car.
I was previously working at a securities trading firm, and there was this woman who emailed in asking how she could sell some baby furniture with the company.
A securities trading firm.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of work, I gotta go ahead and get back to work.
Baby
all right, Reg, thank you for dropping by.
Yeah, she wanted to sell some baby furniture.
We got a lot of new faces in the live feed. By the way, make sure you're subscribed to me. I only need. I want to do this by the end of the year. I need 16 more subscribers by the end of the year. We could do this. So anybody in the live feed, I mean, I don't recognize these names, so I don't know how they found my channel, but that's okay. Welcome.
Maybe they're flat earthers.
Well, do people do that? Do they like search for flat Earth live hangout?
Don't know.
Don't know. Which is fine. Any flat earthers in there? We'll see. Hey. Well, Fat Photog said he subs for a year. Well, I know daytime, nighttime bots. Daytime, nighttime bot. You're not a flat earther. Orbic, you're a flat earther, Fred Booker. Oh, fat is a flathead.
Flat-
So actually,
okay.
there are some flatheads. Okay. So whenever I have a hangout entitled Flat Earth, that's when like the flat earthers come out to play. So you have people that live in a ball, live on a flat earth. So I don't know where to go from here. Do any of you want to come in and like talk about it? I'm cool with that.
Sounds trollish to me.
Oh, he says, no, I have a flathead.
A flathead.
Something you can rest a beer upon, you know. It might be true. I've seen pictures of people with flatheads.
Pretty good trait.
Daytime, nighttime. I know I'm not a flat earther. I had a brain. Yeah, I mean, oh my God. I don't know if you guys missed it before because my internet went out. But Jesus Christ, I was talking about how my experience with FreeChan and those fuckers over there. And Beyond the Curve. Wow. I'm getting an echo.
Well, I saw their hangout, but they were just it was like a scripted casual conversation.
Orbica, you're flat.
It was just like 4 or 5 guys just ball washing each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me lick
There
your
was not much going on.
All they were saying was like, oh yeah, these guys have no evidence, and anybody who was giving them evidence was blocked immediately. Orbic, if you're a flat earther, you can come in. You want to join us? Here, I'll give you the link. And by the way, I do have snipe protection just in case, by the way.
I don't even know how to do that.
I can anti-snipe faster than anybody can snipe.
What do you mean snipe protection? What is that?
I remove them faster than they can do any damage.
Nice.
I'm really fast.
I just found a channel that Redline is going to love.
Steve,
this lady does podcasts from it, like Hangouts. It's called Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes.
I think I've seen.
She is a flat earther, vegan.
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that.
Theorist and cat lover.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, she discusses flat Earth and other things, such as topics are flat Earth, the creator, NASA, the ISS satellite, asteroids, meteors, lack of curvature, maps, 9/11, false flags, hoax event, New World Order, oil scams, free energy, banking scams, occult sacred geometry.
Sure.
Illuminati, urine therapy, fasting, veganism, vaccines, chemtrails, GMOs, sun gazing.
The whole
gambit. She goes down to coconut oil and apple cider vinegar and borax.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go full spiritard, you might as well go all the way, right?
Yeah.
Is Orbic and Ozzy?
Look at Krill making us dinner, and what a nice guy.
Steve, I hear if you get a business Google Hangouts account that you can avoid snipers because they can't do that, and it's only $5 a month.
Yeah, but the problem is we've looked into it. You have to start a new Google account. I can't port over my existing one.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
You lose all your subs.
You lose all your subs, right? And so I don't want to do that.
Well, fuck it. Start over.
Now, another way to do it, actually, Shadow Heathen said, he could, using XSplit, we can go through his account and then broadcast it to my channel stream. I just recently know how to do that. So, So we consider that.
In XSplit or OBS or some broadcasting software and then just stream through the API instead of using a direct Hangout.
And I think we're going to try that at the beginning of the year. I've already got the logistics worked out. So we're going to try doing a 20-man hangout just for shits and giggles.
Do it.
And then what I do is I just take the stream code and I'll feed to that live via the XSplitter. Yeah.
Totally do that.
Use that as an encoder. So, anyways, yeah, that's we got things planned. I've actually got some from what's called graphics that I'm working on. We're going high tech. My goal is 1,000 subs by the end of this year, but my goal next year is to have 2,000 subs. So I'm having goals.
Do it.
Well, you got 7,000 or some shit, don't you, dude? 4,000, 7,000? How many you got?
A little over 4.
Yeah. How'd you get that?
I used to have regular channel with podcasts and show and different videos, and there was a lot of good content on there. There was over 400 videos. I cleaned it all up, so there's only maybe 30 now. But
Well, I'll go back. I'll promote your channel if do the favor. If we return the favor, let me see if I can find your YouTube thing here. For you guys who don't know, Krill, he has a really interesting channel. We had a good discussion the other night on what is atheism, and he was one of the very few people that is an atheist was actually willing to listen and have a discussion about it rather than just go, oh no, Steve, you're wrong. And so I was really impressed.
You are wrong, but I mean,
that's true.
Of course, yes, I'm always wrong.
But Steve, no, a good tip if you want to grow your channel really quick, interview some like big atheists like Aaron Ra, Matt Dillahunty. Lawrence Krauss is always willing to hop on a hangout too. So
yeah, I'm actually working on Lawrence Krauss. Matt Dillahunty I've talked to. I mean, he's left a message on one of my videos before. He owes me $20, and I was going to say, okay, Matt, you want to pay off that debt for $20? Come on my channel. I've reached out to the Atheist Experience for that. We'll see how that works out. And then Aaron Ra, he only goes on actually Hogtie's channel, and we talked to him there. But he has a new book out, and he's working on the foundational falsehood of creationism, and he's really busy. So, but I've talked to Aaron.
Is running.
You should have on.
He's running for senator of Texas.
Yeah.
You hear that?
You should have Mark Vanderbreak on. He's the guy that he's a producer for the Atheist Experience. He's a really smart, really nice guy. He's behind the scenes. He does pretty much everything with the Atheist Experience except being on the camera. And he's somebody that does not get enough credit for how smart he is and how hard he works.
Well, if you got any connections, help the brother out. I mean, I'm working with Apologia right now. He's got some videos coming out, and he's having a growing channel. I wouldn't mind having like what do they call it? People that contribute with each other, co-collaborators or whatever, collaborations. Yeah. But here, I put your channel in the live feed. Atheist and analyst. So anybody who's not subscribed to Krill, go sub to him now, and I will. I want to check his sub count, so you motherfuckers better go sub to him.
Yeah, I'll hook you up with anybody you want from the Atheist Experience. I live like 3 minutes away. Like literally, I can walk to it.
I've messaged Peoples before, Jan Peoples, and the channel, but I never got a response, and so I
fucking hate her.
I actually like her. And the other one, I love the dark hair one. What's her name? Tracy.
Tracy Harris.
Tracy, I love her. Tracy Harris is a shit, awesome. Man. I would love to have. If you can get her on my channel, I will give you a slow hand job. Just not for very long because I'm straight.
You want Tracy Harris on your channel?
Tracy Harris would be awesome. I think she's awesome. Again, I don't agree with them per se because my stance on positive atheism, but I think she could have a really good conversation about that. So they know who you are. I mean, you know them, but do they know you?
What do you say? Who? The Atheist Experience?
Yeah, I mean, do you go like to dinner with them or anything?
Oh yeah. I used to go every single Sunday. I was helping them with some of their production. I helped them install their new phone system.
Yeah, I watched the show, and like I said, I made a video one time about Matt Dillahunty saying that he would give $20 to anybody that can translate Ronnie's thing, and I translated it, and he said translate it and make it understandable. I translated and made it understandable and added comedic value to it, right? So I did something with it and changed it a little bit to add a little comedic value to it. And
And we may never know. He dropped out.
Oh, for fuck's sake, not again. He has been having internet issues.
Lawrence, Aaron, and Matt are going to be down here in North Carolina in, let's see, April for ReasonCon 3. Oh, I want to go to that. That's going to be awesome. I'm about 78 miles from it.
Wait, what's going on?
Wow. Dropping like flies.
I ejected the Korean one. I think he's sniping.
Which Korean one? So I didn't see anything.
The Kettle Logic. I ejected Kettle Logic.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I think he was sniping, but I'm not sure. My apologies if I'm wrong. But it seemed a little too coincidental to me.
Yeah, it looked really quick, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Steve definitely got sniped. How do you actually add him back in? Who's got mods? Do we all have mods?
None of us have mods.
I do.
Oh, nice.
I do. How do I add him back in?
Hangouts.google.com. I think you go there and then pick the Hangout that you're on. Oh shit! It's not coming up on my screen, but you can see if it comes up on yours. Well, this is awkward. I'm the only one in here. Looks like his channel got sniped, everybody. So I apologize. It kind of looks weird though that I'm the only one in here because it looks like I was a sniper, but I was clearly walking with my pasta whenever that happened. So, and there's 2 other people in here, but I can't show them. Oh, show in broadcast. Maybe I do have mods actually.
Hey guys, Timmy Osmond here. Thanks for having me on. I just wanted to tell you guys that you guys are doing a great job against the Flat Earthers. It's Tim Osmond, as I said before, you have been sniped off your own hangout, unfortunately for you. But fortunately for you, you get to listen to me. So let me just go ahead and talk, all right? Anyway, so problem with atheist troll clowns is just a bunch of trolls, man, you know? Like, people call me a troll, but I'm here to excite the people. I'm here to confuse the people. I'm here to be a part of the whole psyop meme that is Flat Earth. So, you know, you guys should thank me for all the work that I've done here. I've really done a good job, you know? Clowns like Steve McRae, he's not very impressive, you know? I mean, he was just removed from his own hangout. Like, how big of a clown can you be, you know? Sorry, Stevie, but Tim Osmond will always rule you. Anytime you go ahead and go live, I'm just going to probably pop on, just to have fun and say, hey, here, 9/11 was an inside job. You guys are idiots if you don't believe so. I am watching the football game, so let me just put this back on real quick. All right. You know, these Cowboys, they better win this damn game. You know, if they lose to the fucking Lions, guys, I don't know what to say. But anyway, thanks for having me on. Again, this is Tim Osmond. I have been fighting the Flat Earth sophism psyop for over 2 years now. I am here. I am leaving. So I will be passing the torch to any of you clowns that want to take over. You guys have been doing, it's, you know, all right job, you know. Nobody's really infiltrated them as I have. But it's kind of like the infiltration that just happened with you. It's terribly unfortunate. But, you know, sometimes it happens. You kind of mess with the wrong person. In that I just put in Flat Earth